Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Searching for Players podcast, a podcast that knows that E3 stands for Electronic Entertainment Expo, but it should stand for everyone's extremely excited. I'm David, Player 1. I know I'm excited. I'm joined by Alex, Player 3. Are you excited?
I'm super excited,
Super
David.
excited. All right. Before we get started, Player 4 was not able to make it. As our resident non-gamer, she wouldn't have a ton to contribute, so that's okay.
Whole lot of nada.
And Player 2 was unfortunately not able to make it. And that's all we're going to say about that.
So don't click off.
Right.
I know the ladies aren't here. Please.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to inform you. We'll kind of let you know who's doing what when at E3. And, you'll be able to tune in. I think Twitch is a good place. Most places broadcast on Twitch, YouTube. Especially if you miss it, almost all the companies post it on YouTube afterwards. If it's something like Microsoft or Sony, you can actually watch it straight through your PlayStation or Xbox. Makes it real easy. All right, so let's just jump right in.
All right, let's do it.
So this year, it's weird. They're starting on a Saturday.
That is odd.
Normally, way back, it was always started on Monday. Then they started adding some Sunday stuff, and then now the shows start on Saturday. EA is going to be the only one on Saturday, June 10th. Depending on where you live on the West Coast in the U.S., it starts at noon. East Coast would be, 3 a.m.? No, 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And for us here in Central Time, it'd be 2 p.m. Anywhere else, you have to figure it out on your own.
So let's just put it this way. It's one exciting Saturday.
Yeah.
So, invite your girlfriend, your boyfriends over or whatever and be like, let's watch some E3.
And it will be the EA
single.
conference. And I guess it's part of their EA Plays show they do now in conjunction with E3, where if you're in California, you can buy tickets.
Sure.
And it's not actually in the same conference as the
E3.
I think it's their own building.
I think
and
so.
you can go in, get hands-on time with a bunch of EA games. But they will have their conference. Certain games, Star Wars Battlefront 2 will most likely be there.
I'm sure that'll probably be.
They've also announced the new Need for Speed Payback, I think.
Yep.
So that could be interesting to find out something about that.
It's been a while since we've seen a new Need for Speed.
I know we're talking about sort of our hopes and dreams of E3, but the first thing I got to say about EA, something I hope they don't do, and I know they will.
Uh-oh.
I know they will because they do it every single year.
David's on a tangent.
In the middle of every EA press conference, they dedicate it to their sports games, and they will always bring out some celebrity athlete. And it's super awkward. It slows the entire conference way down. It never goes like they plan. But they do it every year without fail.
Probably not Tiger Woods this year.
Probably not Tiger Woods. I could see they just announced, is it Ronaldo?
Yes.
He's on the cover of FIFA.
Yeah.
It could be Tom Brady. Cover of Madden.
Whoa, calm down. Calm down. He's going to need a second.
It'll still be super awkward.
Yeah, but hold on, give it a sec. Not if it's Tom Brady. If it's Tom Brady, it'll be awesome, and you know it. And you'll love it, won't you?
I won't deny it.
So hold on, let's give him a second. I'll clean up that mess. All right, you
but
okay?
FIFA, there'll be FIFA.
Yeah.
There'll be Madden. There'll probably be NBA. I'm just curious about
Hockey.
Maybe hockey. Sorry, I know, but not a lot of love given to the NHL.
Wow.
So it'll be in one of the montages that they always do.
They'll be like, they're making it still.
But unfortunately, like I said, they always do that every year, and I always feel like it slows the conference way down. And I guess here's my question:
But what about the new features?
Is there target audience for those sports games watching these conferences?
Who knows?
You know what I mean? Is Chad McChatterson, Madden fan extraordinaire, actually watching the EA conference?
Well, if his name's Chad McChatterson, he has bigger problems than what he. It's on a Saturday,
right,
so probably not.
I mean,
but,
yeah.
No, but you know what? It's so big. I mean, men make so much money. I mean, they just print money.
That's true.
They got to show it. Because if not, they're gonna have 4 games, and they got to kill time. So you're right. Will it be there? Yes. Yeah. It will be there.
Yeah. So my hopes and dreams, though, for EA, my actual hopes and dreams.
Yes.
Star Wars, not just Battlefront 2, but EA right now. They have the license for pretty much all the Star Wars stuff. I want to see what else. And last year I think we got that little promo video with concept art and a tiny bit of test footage and stuff.
Sure.
This is the year to start really saying these are the projects we have. None of them are coming out this year except Battlefront 2. But 2018, this is what's coming out.
So here's an odd thought. So just with that, right? Because bear with me here. I'm gonna land this plane eventually. But didn't Mass Effect published by EA?
Yes. Yeah. From BioWare. Yeah.
From 2 and 3.
Yes.
So Star Wars, BioWare, Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, like a new old school.
I mean, I'm just saying,
right.
like that. So probably won't happen. But no, what are they doing?
Oh, right. I don't know what BioWare's next big project is. That could be something announced at one of these conferences.
Because that would be awesome.
That would be. Yeah.
Knights 3, Star Wars.
I don't see them. There could be a Star Wars RPG in the works.
Sure.
I don't think it would be called Knights of the Old Republic because they don't want brand confusion with the MMO.
That's true. You're right.
So the MMO exists now. It has that title. I don't see that going on.
You're right. No, you're right. True.
But you could still get a Star Wars RPG. Yeah. And they have announced, it was what, three or four or five different companies are all working on a different Star Wars game. So I'm just curious to start to actually see what those games are like.
Well, to your point, they had announced like no Battlefield. So not Battlefront, but like actual like EA DICE, like the Battlefield. None of that. That won't be there at the conference.
Correct. But there was something talked about Battlefield 1, the game that came out last year.
Yes.
The name of the Tsar. In the name of the Tsar.
So I can see an expansion.
So I think it's some sort of expansion they're going to talk about.
I want to see something new, though.
No,
to your point. I want to see a new IP.
And it's EA. I feel like they're going to have, even if it's a smaller sort of game, I could see them having a new IP. I mean, they have the studios and the money for it. So
yes, I would hope so.
Yeah.
That's my wish.
Yeah.
Just something new.
So then, the next conference, the following day, Sunday, June 11th, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, so it'll be 4 p.m. our time. I have to think about it. Central.
Math.
Yeah. Microsoft.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which they always win on Mondays, and it's like they had to jump
they have to, yes.
To do their announcements. Obviously, let's get the big one out of the way, Scorpio.
Well, yes. It'll be there.
It will be there. I think we're going to get the official price.
Oh, yeah. I think we'll see it. I think you'll see everything
We'll see everything about it, the release date, all of it. And I'm wondering if they decided to jump ahead of some of the other conferences. One, to get the big, hurrah out there. But you may see other conferences like Bethesda or Ubisoft then talking about this will be,
I could see that.
For Scorpio. I'm also assuming they're not going with Scorpio as the final name, so
probably not.
We'll probably get the official name of it.
It'll probably be Super Powerful Awesome Box.
Right.
1. Got to throw the 1 in there.
Xbox 1.1.
Yes.
Minimal.
So hopes and dreams. So tell me, what do you want? Because to me, I feel like this is kind of a make or break year for Microsoft because you got the new hardware. It's not a generational jump,
right?
But so you got this powerful system. Like, what are they going to do with it?
And we talked about this a little before the show. Exclusives.
Yeah.
It's got to be about the exclusives. Sony's killing it with exclusives. Obviously, Nintendo always has their little thing of exclusives. They have to give you a reason, to want not just your third-party games to look better, but you can only get these experiences on the Microsoft system. Obviously, they've already said all their stuff is playable on PC and Xbox, which I think hurt them a little bit. But
I think it does.
There's still, myself included, lots of people who prefer just to kick back on the couch and play on their console.
Well, but to your point, they've said Halo, no Halo 6. Halo 6 will not be there.
Correct.
Pretty sure Crackdown will.
Crackdown 3 we'll finally see.
But that's
something?
To your point. Like, they can't just have, like, here's, was it the new Phantom Dust they're making, right? They're still redoing a Phantom? Sea of Thieves by
Rare.
There's Day of Decay
2. Right.
You can't have that and Crackdown those 3 games and be there
should be a new Forza.
I could see a Forza 7 that
Forza
really
Horizon
shows,
just came out, so yeah, I could see Forza 7 being the big. This is what Scorpio can do. Look at the detail. Look at the frame rate.
I hope it's not.
You hope it's something else.
Well, yeah, because that's my point. Forza, I would say it's like it is by far like that is the racing game. Like from somebody that grew up on Gran Turismo, like Forza's like that is the best racing game in my opinion. If you like kind of the simulation style, a little bit arcadey, but like that's it. But that's such a small niche. Like that's not going to sell Scorpios or whatever it's going to be called. Like I want, and this is coming from a Sony guy. Like I want to see them drop like exclusive after exclusive. I want them to basically pull a Sony and just say, and I'm hoping the fact that they're like, we don't need to show Halo. We're going to give Halo the year off. Makes me think they got to have something. I mean, Microsoft's a very smart company. Like they're going to come. They know they have to show. Like they got to have games. They're going to say people that that already have an Xbox One or hadn't bought an Xbox One or maybe just have a PS4 say, yeah, forget that. I'm going to go buy this sucker.
Right.
And the games, it's got to be the games.
And 343 Industries did say no Halo 6, but they did say they were going to be presenting something.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, will we be getting like a Halo Reach or a Halo ODST, sort of a spin-off in the same universe?
I hope not. Yet again, something new.
Right.
No, well, because it's funny though. But when you start thinking about like the franchises that made them on 360, those developers are on to other things,
right?
Like Epic, Bungie.
Yeah.
Like, let's see something
Microsoft
else.
owned the IP, so other studios have come in. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, granted, that would be awesome. Don't get me wrong. So before I get the hate mail, like I think like a remake of a Halo would be great. You name it, like any of them,
right.
Like the Halo ODST, but. If that's like the 10th thing they've announced, and the other 9 things are just like our jaws are on the floor,
right.
then I think that's great. If that's what they're going to lead with,
right.
That's my challenge.
It can't be their centerpiece. It can be
correct.
Little extra sauce on top, but not the.
Be like, come buy a Scorpio. You can play ODST.
Right.
It's probably not going to do it.
ODST 2.
Yeah.
Because I actually really liked ODST. It had a totally different feel than the regular Halo games.
It did.
To me, so.
I almost feel like the Halos. I'm gonna get hate for this too. I feel like because they've done it, it's almost kind of run its course. Great series, awesome series. Like love Halo. Let's see something else though,
right?
And then come back to it.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, what was I just forgot the name of that game that Microsoft just canceled with the dragons.
Scalebound.
I want to see things like that obviously come out.
Sure.
New IPs that Microsoft's willing to take a risk on. So
yeah, hopefully they do. But they're smart. Right? I mean,
they did say also Fable Fortune, which is a card game, sort of in the vein of Gwent or Magic the Gathering. I think that's sort of, they're just using the Fable franchise to slap it on cards. So.
That's great. If that's the 11th thing, they'll be doing great.
Right.
So,
well, and that'd be the thing too, right? Like, they do have a few sort of dormant franchises, something like Conquer. They actually brought back and made a Conquer video game or a new Banjo-Kazooie video game. Because of Rare, they have those properties.
Well, like a Cameo too. I mean, but they could do. I mean, they have that. What if they came out with a whole new Killer Instinct?
Right.
I mean, they could still do that.
Well, and it feels like because they had 3 seasons of Killer Instinct, and they've recently released a couple new characters, but they're just sort of variations on existing characters. So they could be either just winding that down. Maybe they'll announce this full season 4 with a bunch of full characters, or they could be like, Killer Instinct 2 coming soon or something. So.
Yeah, so I mean, it would be nice to see. I mean, they've had, you think about in the past, I mean, they've had like a Crimson Skies, a Conquer, they've, like, you think of some of those kind of, those 360, they had a lot.
Dare I say it? Battletoads.
That would be awesome.
Make a full-blown Battletoad. I don't even know how that would work, but...
you know what, though? It's something that the crowd would go wild.
Yeah,
It'd be awesome.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
my hope and dream for the Microsoft press conference, that we get an official release date for Cuphead.
Yes.
An indie game exclusive to Microsoft system.
3 years in the making.
At least, if not more. And it looks gorgeous. It sounds like it's going to be a ton of fun. Everything I've seen looks great. But it keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed. So I'm hoping this is the year. I'm hoping this will be the press conference where they say, and you can play it this Tuesday or something like that.
That would be nice. Yeah. That would be awesome. Yes.
I would buy it.
I would do. I would too.
So yeah, Microsoft, it's going to be a big one. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be important.
They got to knock the socks off.
It's got to be.
It's got to be games, Scorpio, and that's going to be the challenge, right? Because Microsoft's like, look at our hardware, it's so awesome, but you got to have something to play with.
Why do I need it? Yeah.
Correct, and that's going to be the biggest. That's going to be the biggest hurdle for them.
So then moving on, that night, Sunday, June 11th, it's a little bit late, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight on the East Coast, so 11 our time here in the Central, yeah. Bethesda's press conference.
So everybody will be asleep.
Right. And this is only the third year Bethesda's had their press conference. They've recently kind of had enough going on to make it worth their while. It's going to be interesting to see what they show. Mm-hmm. I know some of what they've said, they're bringing Elder Scrolls 5 for the Switch. It's like, okay. Fallout 4 VR for the PC. Okay.
Okay,
It could be
yeah.
interesting, but and then Quake Champions for the
Yeah.
PC for sure. And I think they'll probably. I could see them talking about that one quite a bit because I know it's coming out sometime this year.
Yeah, that'll be a big one, especially for PC, and it looks
Right.
really good.
Yeah. So then the question is, what else? There is, some of you may have seen, there's an image that Bethesda released online. It's like they created a theme park based around all their video game franchises, and 2 sections are under construction, which implies they have 2 potentially new IPs, or at least unannounced games coming out that, will be those parts of the theme park. So we'll see what that is.
Yeah.
Brand new IPs, or if they're resurrecting some other old one like Doom.
Can you imagine if one of them was exclusive to Microsoft?
That would
But,
be,
well, I mean, there's also, I've read too that there may be like a new expansion to Wolfenstein,
another one?
like
they
a
did with
second
the-
one,
right.
well, not an expansion, excuse me, but like a sequel,
Right.
because the first one did really well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
with Machine Gun, believe that's or Machine Head. I don't remember what the developer was.
Yeah,
but-
something Machine Head, I think, maybe.
So it was a fun game.
Right.
Obviously, Doom just came out, so they released Prey. So it'd be interesting. I've heard like they've said, Bethesda's making open world games.
Right.
Maybe a Fallout, like almost like a New Vegas. Like I've heard, like potentially like New Orleans,
Like
kind of out
not
there.
a full-blown sequel, but sort of like New
Yeah,
Vegas,
how there
where
was
it
like New
yeah,
Vegas,
yeah.
something like that may be interesting. I mean, it's Bethesda. They're working on something. I mean, Fallout's been out for a while.
What do you think the chances are of them saying Elder Scrolls 6?
I don't.
Not that it would come out anytime soon, but they're just like, we're working on it. Here's a image, a splash of our title.
I could see
Yeah.
that maybe as like the end of the show. Like nothing playable. Maybe a CG, like it's going to be badass, like end of show, something like
Right.
that. Because I mean they're making it, but it's probably years away.
Right. And I know a lot of their effort right now is focused on Elder Scrolls Online.
Sure.
There'll probably be some talk about it at the show.
Yes.
I think the Morrowind expansion
Comes out tomorrow.
So there you
Comes
go.
out the 6th. So yeah. So it's it's one of those things. Like there's a lot of unknowns, I think, with that show.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm just curious what those 2 other properties are.
Yeah, that's
If they're brand new, or if it's kind of like a Doom Wolfenstein thing where they're bringing back another old one, or if it is like a new. Because I don't think Wolfenstein was on that little image. I can't remember, but what they'll be.
Sure.
So that'll be another.
because you hadn't really seen anything. They made the was it called the New Blood? I believe was the expansion.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the last time you had seen them.
was like
so
a
it's been a
standalone
while.
thing, yeah.
So it'd be
Yeah.
nice. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, it was a fun game.
Yeah, Wolfenstein's definitely sort of the oldest release of a lot of this stuff. Dishonored 2 came out just the end of last year. Prey came out just recently. So, I mean, Wolfenstein, I think, would be the most logical sort of guess to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
But-
it'll be good.
Yeah. So
Everybody
we'll
will be asleep and we'll be able to see it, but the next day you'll have a lot to wake up to.
Right, exactly. All right, so then the next one, June, we're moving on to Sunday, June 11th.
You mean Monday?
I'm sorry, no. Actually, no, this is Sunday. It's still Sunday, sorry. Sunday, June 11th, an hour after the Bethesda conference.
Okay.
So 10 p.m. West Coast, 1 a.m. East Coast, midnight Central Time. This is the Devolver Digital press conference. They're sort of a smaller studio, but they've gotten bigger recently. They do a lot of like indie style games, but they have a lot of them. And this is the first year they've had their own conference. We don't have a whole lot to say about that. You may know them for like Hotline Miami, Mother Russia Bleeds, or the Shadow Warrior games that recently came out. Some of the knowns that the Enter the Gungeon is coming out for the Switch. The Talos Principle is coming to VR for PC. They do have a big game called Absolver that looks interesting. It's an online combat game, but it's all martial arts based.
That'll be interesting.
Everyone does, it's like a mix of hand-to-hand combat, and you have different people you'll face off against people online. I don't think it's an MMO style. I think it's more like a sort of a last man standing arena battle type game. But instead of running around with guns and things, it's hand-to-hand combat.
Gotcha.
So
That'll be interesting.
yeah. Some of the trailers for it look kind of interesting. We'll have to, they'll probably talk that one up a lot at their press conference. That may be why they're having a press conference.
Sure.
As far as I know, that's their biggest game
Gotcha.
that's coming out right now. So,
Interesting.
and then moving on to everyone's least favorite press conference, the PC Gaming Show. This is Monday, June 12th, 10 in the morning on the West Coast, 1 in the afternoon on the East, noon our time, Central Time.
Okay.
PC Gaming Show. It's interesting. It's kind of boring. They do have a sort of cool setup where it's almost like a nighttime talk show setup. And they usually it's sponsored usually by NVIDIA or Radeon, one of the big graphics card people.
Sure.
And so they're always on showing off new hardware, and then they show off some new games. But there's usually not really any big announcements there. It's like I said, it's pretty much PC exclusive.
It's there.
Yeah, that's pretty much all.
They're going to have some love.
Right. So now the next big one, Monday, June 12th, 1 p.m. West Coast, 4 p.m. East, 3 p.m. our time, right in the middle of the afternoon on Monday, the Ubisoft press conference. I actually always enjoy these shows. They're always entertaining. They always do something.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Outlandish.
And I'm assuming, I just forgot her name.
Aisha Taylor.
Aisha Tyler will still be the one hosting.
Yeah.
She's always fun to watch on that show.
Yeah.
A lot better than that one year Joel McHale did it.
Oh, that was rough.
That was super awkward. Anyways, Ubisoft, we're going to see South Park Fractured Butthole.
Excuse me?
Hopefully we don't see too much of it. But
Whoa.
No, I'm actually really looking forward to that. The first one was really good.
Hopefully they don't push it back anymore.
We talked about Far Cry 5 last week on the podcast.
Yep, that'll be good.
That'll be there.
Assassin's
Hopefully we'll see some
Creed.
gameplay.
Yes.
They are bringing Steep to the Switch. So if you have a Switch and you didn't play Steep, you like your snowboarding games or whatever. Also, The Crew.
So nobody.
Right.
So pick it up now on the Switch.
The Crew 2 was announced. We don't know a lot about it, so I'm sure that'll be there. And then Assassin's Creed. That's, I would say, my hopes and dreams, but we know it's going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm a big Assassin's fan. Unity wasn't great, but I know Syndicate kind of redeemed the series. They took a year off.
Yeah.
And now we're coming back. Lots of rumors. Some people think it's going to be Egypt.
They've shown the couple screenshots.
Yeah, like the logo and stuff is all out there. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get some. I bet we'll get. Do you think it'll come out this year?
I do.
I do too, especially having taken a year off.
Yeah, I think they've been working on it for a while. I think they know. Well, you got to realize it's Ubisoft. So remember like the Watch Dogs kind of debacle where they showed it a couple years before it came out, and then it wasn't quite the same game.
Right.
I think they've learned from that. So
I think they're going to pull an Uncharted, where they have like a trailer that goes right into gameplay, and we're going to watch somebody play some Assassins.
Yeah, I could see that. I see that being the big title this year. Because Far Cry, they've said, will probably be early next year.
Well, the official date I think already is like middle of February.
So it means like that's Assassin's Creed's going to be their game. I'm actually curious to see if they're going to have something. They always seem to. I could see Ubisoft having something new, like hopes and dreams. For me, it's not going to happen. But Beyond Good and Evil 2.
So actually, before we go any further, 4 games were officially said will not be,
and that happens to be
E3.
one of them.
Halo 6, which we talked about, Shenmue 3. So no more info about Shenmue 3. The next Battlefield, which we talked about, and Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I know.
And I think it's because people always ask about it no matter what, so they're just upfront saying we will not be showing anything. I'm super excited for that too, but that's a ways off.
Yeah, it'll never happen.
Yeah. Who knows? Ubisoft could. I mean, obviously they just came out with Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
We haven't had a Rainbow Six in a while.
No, well, Siege.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You're right. Siege. I'm thinking the more
Splinter
traditional.
Cell.
Right. Splinter Cell.
I could see a new Splinter Cell. I could definitely see a new Splinter Cell.
Right.
Well, they've even Michael Ironside, who played the voice of Sam Fisher for forever, has announced that like he's been doing voice work for Sam Fisher again.
Because there was some controversy, right? In the last Splinter Cell, it wasn't
correct.
Michael
It was
Ironside.
not. Yeah. So he's back. It's been a while. I think the last one came out like 4 or 5 years ago. Was it Blacklist? Was the last one? Don't quote me on that.
Yes, it was. Splinter Cell
But it's
Blacklist.
been a while, so I could see like that. I mean, normally I could see them going into the holidays with probably two games, 2 big blockbusters.
Is South Park coming out this year, or did it get delayed to next year?
No, it's supposed to be October. So actually, maybe South Park. Yeah, I believe it's October as of now. So South Park, Assassin's Creed.
I know it got hit with some delays.
Throw in Splinter Cell. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good year.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. They could always have some brand new IPs.
Yeah.
Ubisoft sometimes will do some smaller games. I really like Child of Light.
Oh, that's true.
And what was the one that was like a World War I side-scrolling kind of?
Oh, Vandal Hearts. Right. No.
Vagrant Hearts?
Vagrant Hearts, maybe.
Something Hearts?
Something. Yeah. It had hearts
Vandal
in it.
Hearts was an RPG on the PS4.
That's right. Yeah.
Something like that.
I think it's... Yeah.
Those kind of games. I almost like to see them do another one of those.
Yeah, I could see that.
And just a fun, smaller indie style. Obviously, it's not indie if it's made by them, but that design.
No, that's true. That'd be good.
And and the obligatory Just Dance moment. Every Ubisoft conference has to have a bunch of random 20-somethings dancing on stage for Just Dance.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
It'll be what are they on, like 6, 7, 8? Just Dance 20.
That's when you go and use the restroom.
Okay, yeah.
When that comes on. All right, so moving on.
Yes, the big one I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to. Sony, Monday, June 12th, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. on the Eastern, 8 p.m. for us in Central.
Yep.
Yeah, the Sony press conference. They've knocked it out of the park the past couple of years.
Yes.
Big announcements, a lot of fan,
service.
Yeah, a lot of things fans have wanted. They say, hey, we're doing it. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Crash Bandicoot.
And admittedly, some of that was announced at PSX.
Sure.
But we're going to see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So they have the longest list on here. We've got Days Gone, which was that sort of zombie-esque.
Yeah, well, to your point, that's the thing. Like, give us some release dates for these.
Yes.
Like God of War, like this fall. Like there's Days Gone. There's Detroit. Was it Become Human?
Detroit Become Human. I could see that maybe coming out this year.
Something about that.
Yeah.
There's Dreams. I don't know if you remember that one. Is Media Molecule.
Mm-hmm.
They announced it like 2 years ago, and we haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
We know. That's the one thing. That's my hopes and dream. I'm kind of jumping the gun there, but I want them to announce. They've shown so many titles.
Just
they need to come
coming
out
soon or coming to 2017 or 2018.
And I still hope we see more of those. Right?
Yeah.
Because I still think if there's ever a year, because I would argue, and I'll get hate mail for this too, but I think Sony's probably the last couple of years they probably won E3 just with the exclusive that they've shown.
Yeah, I mean for sure. I don't think.
But I feel like this is the year that Microsoft and Nintendo, we'll get to in a little bit, are going to bring it. So, if there's ever a year where Sony slips up,
right?
They better come to the table because they can't let up,
right?
Especially with Nintendo kind of getting to the swing of things with what we'll talk about soon, and then the new Scorpio with Microsoft,
right. Sony can't rest on its laurels.
No.
They gotta keep fighting.
A God of War coming out November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd have a pretty good dent.
And I could
Scorpio
see
sales.
that. I could see that happening. Yeah. Spider-Man,
Last of Us 2,
that Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Well, that comes out August.
Right, but it'll be there.
Yes,
and that'll be. Yeah. I feel like that could start the wave of PlayStation exclusives. We've had a bunch of PlayStation exclusives at the beginning of the year. Things will slow down in the summer because they always do. So then you have Uncharted Lost Legacy starts it back up, and then you get into maybe God of War.
Well, and granted, so this is not a full-fledged sequel, right? It's like a 10-hour.
Right.
But the fact that they're August, who's doing anything in August? That's like Madden month, right? So for them to release that, there's Gran Turismo Sport, right, which will probably be there, but we don't know what's coming out this fall.
Knack 2.
I hope not. It's
coming.
It will be. Yeah, it'll be
and
good.
I feel like that's a game that will be out this year.
I could see that.
I could see Spider-Man
Yeah.
coming out this year. I think Last of Us 2 is a 2018.
Yes, but I want to see gameplay.
They may have even said that.
I think gameplay of that.
I could
would
see
be,
some gameplay, yeah.
Because I could see them ending the show with something like that,
Right.
just to knock everybody's socks off.
Right.
But they got to show something else. Unfortunately, as awesome as their conferences have been, people are
right.
What have they not released yet?
They keep setting the bar higher and higher. At some point, they can't.
We can't say, are they going to show Last Guardian? It's already,
Right.
it's out. So it's what have they not?
Last Guardian 2 coming in 10 years.
Yeah.
I think maybe we'll see a little Death Stranding tease, but again, that's a 2018 game.
Sure.
If not 2019.
Yeah.
Like you said, Gran Turismo Sport, that's their big racing game. I feel like that has to come out this year.
Yeah, well, I think it was last year it was targeted. So, yeah, I'm sure it will. But, I just want to see release dates for these.
So, I know that's your hope and dreams. Do you have any shot in the dark as to some other new property they're going to announce or bring back?
Well, who knows? If you think about what they have out there, it's over 30 years now, right, of different games. And can you imagine, a SOCOM coming back or a Siphon Filter? Twisted Metals doesn't have kind of the...
Yeah, they came out with one on PS3. It did okay.
It did okay, but something... they have properties that they could
they
bring
released
back.
Parappa the Rapper HD. Maybe they're going to make an actual new Parappa the Rapper.
Well, in the Crash Bandicoot, obviously that's made in conjunction with Activision.
Right.
But they've said, this is something, if it does well, Crash Team Racing remastered.
I'd be there for that.
Yeah, so... Sony's, I'm sure they have something, but that's, it's kind of sad when you think, or it's scary when you think they could release, have God of War and a Spider-Man, or God of War and, a Detroit Detroit would probably be more of a niche game, but like you got the Last of Us coming
yeah.
up. Like they got a lot coming out still. You got was it Ni no Kuni 2?
Yep.
I'd like to see like here you go, Dragon Quest 11. It's announced for Japan,
right?
But I want to see it coming here.
I could see that be a big one, especially for PS4. Just to all of a sudden you strike up that Dragon Quest music at the beginning, dun, da, da, dun, da, da, just kick it in and just let it play. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So.
They have a little RPG section with some Ni no Kuni footage, some Dragon Quest footage.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
Have to change my pants.
What do you think the likelihood, especially if Uncharted really is kind of winding down for now, of a new Jak and Daxter game? 3D platformers don't quite have the same pull they used to, but Jak and Daxter is a beloved property.
I could see it if it's not done by Naughty Dog.
You think Sony would give it to...
Well, so here's the thing. So this is, bear with me, Sucker Punch. We hadn't seen them since Infamous Second Son.
Right.
That came out like first year of like...
That's true.
PlayStation. What have they been working
Infamous.
on? Yeah.
New Killzone, new Resistance.
That's to say, Killzone. So
right.
Horizon just came out. Now, if you remember, Killzone, Guerrilla Games, it's 2 teams.
Right.
One made Killzone, and we didn't know what the unknown ended up being Horizon. So are they doing another Killzone? Like, you could see that. So there's stuff.
Did Insomniac do Resistance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, Insomniac. But they still,
but they're working,
still have the
Insomniac's
rights.
working on Spider-Man.
So, correct.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's
going to be a lot of stuff at the Sony press conference.
Yeah. Well, there needs to be.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's just, they got to show, but that's the luxury. I mean, they can show gameplay of God of War and Last of Us 2.
Right.
It's a pretty powerful conference right there.
For sure.
So moving on.
So the last press conference, it's not, I mean, this is not really a press conference. Yeah. It's the Nintendo show. It's on, this is Tuesday, June 13th, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. our time, Central. This is the Nintendo sort of direct, I forget exactly what they call it. It's
like their event.
Live stream. It's a Nintendo Switch presentation referred to as the Nintendo Spotlight.
Okay.
Basically, it's where they usually have a lot of their big people like, I just forgot his name. Reggie, but what's the Zelda guy?
Oh, wow,
Miyamoto, thank you, wow. Reggie, Miyamoto, they have him come up on stage. I know, I should know that. They came up on stage. They usually talk about stuff, then they go away and they show something else, and it kind of comes and goes.
So as long as they're talking about Metroid Prime 4, then we're good.
Well, first, there will be Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
There will be Mario Odyssey.
Woohoo!
Fire Emblem, and I believe Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Sure.
They're all going to be either playable or shown in some form or talked about or whatever. And those are some pretty good Switch exclusives. Those would all be Switch exclusives. Mario Odyssey, obviously, is the one I'm super interested in seeing. And hopefully they give an official release date.
Sure.
Holiday.
Hopefully, yeah.
Holiday.
Hopefully it's holiday.
Right.
Well, because if you think, I mean, so far, you know that, as of this time, ARMS comes out this month. You have Splatoon 2 in July. And then Mario Odyssey's coming out the fall. Like, what else? They've recognized, like, they've even stated, like, they want to have some of their most popular franchises on the Switch within the first year.
Right.
So, been the rumor, like, I've actually heard a rumor that there may be 2 Metroid games. One by Retro Studios. Because obviously, since Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which was a while ago, it's like, what they've been up to.
Right.
That they may have, just kind of like they had Metroid Other M, like they had another studio kind of work on another Metroid. I could see 2 different Metroids.
Maybe Prime style.
Yes.
And like a 2D style.
Something, exactly. Right. I mean, I still think there's a Donkey Kong, there's a Kirby. Like, I've also, something I would almost, like, guarantee you're going to see Smash Brothers, like, for the Switch. It may be a port, kind of like the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Right.
But so many people didn't play it on the Wii U.
It's true.
Because it came at the very end.
Right.
And they've recognized that, I mean, Mario Kart 8 sold like crazy. And it's like, because now people actually own the system.
Right.
Like, I mean, the Switch is made for this type of thing. You get people together, have it with you, just to start playing. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to see that. Like I said, there's Donkey Kong. They have so many. They've stated, because people have asked, right? Like, we want these franchises. Where are they? And they've said, just hold on. We know. Like, Earthbound's another one. Like, if they came out with a new Earthbound, a new Metroid Prime 4, it said, like, those come out plus Mario this year, it's over. It's done. It's done.
Plant the flag.
Yep. Yes.
We'll see. Nintendo definitely needs to have some more announcements. Definitely have some release dates. Do you think Xenoblade will be this year, or do you think they've got another year?
I think that'll probably be next year.
Okay.
And I also think, as good as that game is, that's not going to sell. I mean, they have so much momentum that they haven't had for at all with like the Wii U.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they got to keep it going, especially if you think about, we talked about the Sony heavy hitters coming out the fall. You have a whole new system with Microsoft. Like Mario, if it comes out, would sell systems, but they need something else because Mario is going to sell. Like obviously, you just had Zelda.
Right.
Like let's get Metroid's probably their next biggest franchise
besides Mario, right.
that we hadn't seen.
Yeah. So,
we
hadn't seen. Yeah.
If they had Metroid, like I said, even Metroid Prime 4 and Mario Odyssey you'd be hard pressed not to find anybody.
I might have to go buy a Switch finally.
Yes.
So that kind of wraps it up for all the conferences.
Yep.
Obviously, the floor show. No, that's backwards. The show floor opens Monday, and you'll have a lot of other companies out on the floor. Capcom, a lot of these, Square Enix will probably be there. So you'll be able to see. There will be videos online. A lot of websites and stuff will cover the floor, so then you can see what all's out there.
The third Tomb Raider.
It could be a new Tomb Raider.
Well, they've announced that there's a new title for it. They're working on one, so that would be something.
Right. And that. I mean, that pretty much wraps it up. My only other question would be: do you think there will be a big debut from one of these other studios, like a Capcom or like a Square Enix, shown off at like the Microsoft conference or the Sony? Or,
I could see that. Yes.
Even the Nintendo conference.
Yeah, I definitely. Well, I mean, it's so funny that I feel like now, especially if you think about how Sony's been able to kind of set itself apart with some of their exclusives, and Microsoft recognizes that. Nintendo has recognized we got to have our franchises out there every other month,
right?
If not every month, the exclusives. It's for the longest time it was it doesn't matter, and now all of a sudden it's a huge thing again. I could see them. Sony's made deals. Right, you look at Street Fighter V, you look at, the Persona 5. Some of these games have been coming out that are exclusive to Sony's system.
That aren't made by Sony, but are still exclusive on their systems. Yeah.
So, Bloodborne 2, that's one right there. I see that because FromSoft, they've said they're done with Dark Souls.
Right.
So, Bloodborne 2, I could see that. Sony, that would be a huge game.
Yeah.
Huge game for Sony to have that. So, that's something that I'd like to see.
Yeah.
But, so that said, though, Microsoft's paid. The Rise of the Tomb Raider, they had some, I'd like to see, maybe they're looking at something like that as well. So that'll sell some systems.
So it'll be interesting.
Yep.
So I think that about does it. I know we went a little longer today. But I hope everybody's able to tune in and watch E3. We will be taking next week off.
Yes.
Some of us are traveling, but also so we can really sit down and absorb all the E3 craziness.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. As y'all probably know, we're in Texas, so it's not like we're going to E3 anytime soon. Maybe one
You're
day.
You're not flying me there?
No, I'm sorry. But we will be back the following week to break down everything that happened at E3, all the things we're excited about, disappointed by, who we think won E3. We'll go there.
We'll go. Yep, we'll do it.
And that podcast may be a little longer because there may be a lot of info to cover.
Yeah. Well, basically,
we'll get Player 2 here so we can get her input too.
Yeah, and then we'll get obviously the non-gamer so she can make fun of us all.
Yes, we're going to force her to watch some trailers and get her opinions.
We'll start a broke fund just to see how broke we're going to be by the time this year is over.
Too many games.
So too many games, too little time.
All right, so that'll do it for us for this week. Like I said, we're off next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Cover all the E3 coverage. And like we said at the beginning of the podcast, we are excited.
Super excited.
All right. We'll see you all later.
See you guys.